And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away in the flood. Now, this is a hard verse to understand, okay? Because there's going to be so many people out there have so many different things that they think this means. But let's just say that the Antichrist is the serpent. Sounds reasonable, right? That the Antichrist is the serpent. He opens his mouth and water as a flood comes out. Now, let's replace the Antichrist with the actual Christ and imagine his mouth was open and water came out of his mouth as a flood. What would it be? It's the Spirit of God. Okay? So, when the serpent opens his mouth and casts water as a flood out of his mouth, it's the spirit of Antichrist. That is what it's talking about here. And it says that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood. This is an extremely important portion of this verse, because this phrase is unique in that it uses the phrase carried away of the flood. Jehoiakim was carried away into Babylon. He was physically moved from one place to another place, tossed to and fro, carried about with every wind of doctrine. That means you're going from believing one thing and you're carried away into believing something else. So what is going on here is the serpent is casting out of his mouth water as a flood, which is the spirit of Antichrist, to convince the woman to believe on him. Now, God has put a strong delusion on the reprobates that they should believe a lie, and there are also going to be some of the seed of the woman at this point that are going to believe on the Antichrist. But again, no conflict of interest, because once they believe on the Antichrist, they're no longer the seed of the woman anymore. So, it's the serpent casting the spirit of Antichrist out of his mouth to cause the woman to believe on him, to believe that he is the Christ and that he is God. Now, when we go into the next verse, it's going to make a little more sense as to why it is that you can say that the words coming out of his mouth, the water is a flood, the spirit of Antichrist is what it is. Okay? It says, and the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth. The earth. Now, if you go to chapter 13,